What's up, you guys? This is Zay Brooks, and this is episode 19 of a show that I do not know the title to yet. Today, what I wanted to talk about is energy and how to protect that energy when you're faced with toxic people, toxic situations, toxic moments with yourself. When you have good energy or you're trying your best to push for the positive things that I talk about, right? Like practicing faith, practicing patience, practicing an abundance mindset. You have to be willing and able to protect and preserve your energy at a moment's notice, or else you will allow somebody else to take that energy. And it sounds so like metaphysical almost, like, oh, what are you talking about? That doesn't really make sense. I have energy. How do they get my energy? I'll explain to you as we go along in this episode, but this is more so what I wanted to talk about, is just preserving your energy in the midst of toxic people or toxic experiences. So, one thing I want to say really quick, just super thankful to be here with you guys, and I now have a set schedule that I want to do. You guys might be a little confused as to the stuff I'm talking about in the last episode where, he said he was posting every day. I have decided that I want to post, as for now, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and give you guys thought-provoking concepts and things that you can resonate with where I'm not overwhelming you. I think 2 times a week is fair to you to be able to apply the things that I talk about, or not, because you don't have to. All right, I don't have all the answers. And for me to be able to have quality things I want to talk about instead of just pushing for quantity, repeating myself, making myself feel like I'm going through the motions, right? Okay, so anyways, preserving and protecting your energy, right? So let's talk about the first part, energy. Things that I've said before in terms of self-talk, living in abundance, you can accidentally place yourself in a position where your energy is just given out to whoever, something negative happens in your day, somebody says something negative, somebody you don't even know on the bus did something to somebody else that you don't really like, and then now your energy is bothered. Like, it's so quick, unconsciously, that your energy can be depleted simply by you not paying attention to it, right? This isn't for you at the end of this episode to think all the time about how is my energy being conserved and blah. No, it's just something to be mindful of. I always talk about living in the present moment, being mindful, not living in your head so much, but instead seeing what's in front of you. And basically by having good discernment about what's in front of you, the phenomenological things that take place in your life, it actually affects the inside. Once you choose to focus on the in and how that coexists with the out, it's a cycle, right? Everything I talk about everything being in a cycle. So your energy, positive or negative, is all dictated upon you, right? Everything about this reality exists within my mind. Isn't that crazy? My eyes and my ears and my nose send signals to my brain, which then creates the picture of this world, right? If my synapses in my eyes didn't work, then I wouldn't be able to see and perceive the world that way, right? The energy that takes place, positive or negative, that ultimately affects me is on me. 100% my fault. That's how I'd like to look at life. I don't think that I have this, it's called, I think it's a extrinsic locus of control, where you feel as though, and I might be botching that, but you feel as though you have to react to what the world gives you. I'm on the flip side of it, right? Where I live in an intrinsic locus of control, which means that I actually dictate my reality, the things that I choose to do, the things that I listen to, the people that I spend time with, how I choose to go about my hobbies, my career. I inflict upon the reality. Reality bends to my will. And furthermore, I am the co-creator of the most powerful being to ever exist. And him and I together create the reality that I choose because I literally believe it to be. I have faith that it will be, right? So that's the first part of it, right? You have to understand, in order to be able to protect your energy, you have to have energy to protect. You can't self-sabotage with a scarcity mindset, or not having patience, or not having faith, or living in doubt. A plethora of other things that I talk about. The next thing I'd like to add on is your energy. Simply put, where you decide to put your thoughts, your beliefs, your overall being into something, right? You have to be very mindful about the music that you're listening to, the things that you watch. Grown men, I'm talking about the P word, just things of that nature, things that will deplete your energy. For example, some people, especially men, they will practice retention, right? I'm not going to say the word, but they will practice their life, right? the life that they give, their procreation, they will choose to have retention, to see what that feels like for their energy towards their whole body. That is one example of what, in spiritual talks, where giving that energy for no reason at all is depleting your energy and has almost a compound effect in other areas of your life that you're willing to just give that energy. You're willing to just let it go to whoever. And I'm not just talking about that, right? That's just one aspect. But, people that are excessive in that nature, not doing that, they're far more susceptible to give that energy in other ways, in other forms, right? And what I mean really by energy is more so your emotion, right? Because thoughts create emotions, which creates energy, which creates action. Whatever you think about is what becomes, right? That's the law of attraction. So whatever I think about and have an emotion of, naturally it'll come out with energy of the emotion or energy of the action. So I want to get that out the way. You can't begin to protect your energy if you have no energy to protect. So you say, how am I supposed to protect? How do I start building up this energy that you speak of? How do I make sure that I'm in pristine condition? Well, it's a lot of the basic stuff that you would think about. Getting sleep, eating very healthy, not eating a whole bunch of refined sugar, not eating a whole bunch of processed foods. Like, I'll be real with you guys, right? I've been vegan for like 7 or 8 years now, and I've had my trial and errors. I've had mentors in the space that have been vegan, thankfully. My father's been vegan for a very long time. Processed foods are something that people don't realize depletes your energy because there's a lack thereof. So it's not even any energy to begin with. Once you eat a lot of whole foods, a lot of healthy foods, fruit, vegetables, grains, for those of you that eat meat, I have nothing against that. For vegans, we have tofu, we have lentils, we have beans. I know I'm missing something else that I really like to eat. Anyways, having that energy, and just by getting good sleep, exercising, good diet, these are all small wins that build up your energy far more than you think. Like I said, the music that you listen to, for me as a black man, I could easily listen to songs about drugs and pew-pewing people and, defamation of women and sex. Like, I could easily do that if I wanted to, but I choose I don't even really like to listen to music with lyrics anymore, to be honest with you. Like I will say, like, Lil Uzi Vert was my favorite rapper, right? And to be honest with you, I don't know why I'm advocating for this guy, but I'm a fan of him, but I'm not trying to sit here and advocate for a guy that I don't even know. His music is not necessarily so bad as like an NBA YoungBoy or things of that nature, but I have been transitioning to a lot more like ethereal music, meditation music. Kate Trinata is another example of somebody who has lyrics, but the music is just more so filling of life. It's not talking about death and destruction and tearing down life, and you get what I'm trying to say, right? And being apart, seeing things that aren't good for you in nature, you know what I'm talking about. Just seeing that as well. I'm trying to give you different examples of what I can think about, but those are pretty much the main things where you preserve your energy. Not spending all the time scrolling, right, on your phone, being in nature more often, having conversations with friends without your phone. I'm even a culprit of that. Sometimes I'm on my phone. I know it's my job, but sometimes I'm on my phone more than I'd like to be. There needs to be moments where it's just far away enough from me where I can just build in what I'm doing right now in terms of reading a book, walking in nature. So anyways, I digress. That is the main gist of you having energy in the first place, right? Practicing meditation, praying, manifesting, believing, having hope, living in abundance. These are all things that help you have this energy that now I'm going to talk about how to protect it, right? Protection of your energy begins in the present moment. If I'm worried about the past, or I'm worried about the future, what has happened, what will happen at my job, or this opportunity, or this blah, blah, blah. Now I am a lot more susceptible to my present energy just being given out because my conscious mind, my mind's eye is too worried about nothing in the present moment, where my energy really only exists. All of the energy that I have or will have or have, I can't, those don't matter anymore. What matters now is the energy that I have in this moment and how I choose to protect it. So that's what I mean when I say protecting your energy. That begins right now. You have to let go of what has happened, what's going to happen. Right now is the most important part to become whoever it is that you want to be, or fix the rights and wrongs of who you were. Does that make sense? I'll make an example, right? Let's say I get on the bus and somebody says something to me in a way where I don't appreciate it, where they go, hey, man, you stepped on my shoe when I got on the bus. You're a bitch. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to curse. But he says that, right? And I look at him, and I have two options here. One, do I allow this person out of nowhere to take my energy, my sacred energy that I've worked for, that I eat, I exercise, I do all the right things, mind, body, spirit, I get good sleep, and I allow this person just on the bus to take that precious energy that I could use to other creative endeavors, or just spend time thinking about how grateful I am, or my relationship with God? That's how serious it is. So you ask, what do you do there? I simply stay in the present moment. I'd look at him and I'd apologize. I'm sorry that I stepped on your shoe. And I would move on, right? There is no reason. My life isn't in danger. People that I love, their lives aren't in danger. It does not matter, is what I'm trying to say. The small stuff, don't sweat the small stuff. I know there's a book about that. That's very important because you get to spend your time and your energy worrying about other things. Imagine if I blew up. Oh, bro. Oh, what? Bro, that was an accident. You're hella dumb, blah, blah. And we just go back and forth, right? Now my energy is depleted. Then on top of that, I leave the bus. I call my best friend. I call my dad. I call my mom. You won't believe what just happened. This person, this, and this. Now for the rest of the week, that's all I can explain to my friends and family. When I go home, I'm fuming. I was supposed to edit or have this thing with this brand deal or supposed to, have something set up. And I accidentally spend my time being so flustered about a situation that I took part in. Now my energy is just being depleted even more. And this person doesn't even remember I exist anymore, and they're about their whole lives because they're worried and wrapped up in their own reality. Like all of that energy is just gone. And it's hard to understand that because I think we exist so much not in the present moment. It's hard to realize how much energy we do or don't have. I think that's where some of you might be confused right now, where you're like, Zay, I don't even know how much energy I have. How can I tell what? The present moment is where you can understand how much energy you have, where you feel pain, where you feel trauma, where you feel your mind is going towards. That's what meditation is in essence, is to sit there, right? And say the words, I am here now. I am meditating. I am here now. And then now you have these thoughts that come up, brand deals, editing, relationship with my family, okay, why is that the case? Why is this? And you start to work through those things. Is that depleting my energy? Oh, my lower back, because I did a 10-mile hike the other day. How can I put myself in a position to get that energy back and not feel sore? What is the thought process there? And you see what I mean? You start to exist in this moment where you can understand how much energy do I really have and why is that the case. Meditation isn't simply for that, to let your mind run off. Every once in a while, you're supposed to come back into the present moment and repeat the mantra, I am here now, and exist here and now, so that you can use the maximum output of energy to figure out the best version of yourself based on what has happened in the past or the future. You don't worry about it. You acknowledge it and then take it into the present moment. I hope that I'm not all over the place. And like I said, I want to have a place where I bring where I bring a sense of peace and calmness. But sometimes I just get so riled up about these concepts because maybe I'm nervous that I'm not portraying it correctly, so I speed it up. I don't know. But in any case, that was one example of conserving your energy. Another one that I'd say, which is a lot more difficult, is when it's with not just the random guy on the bus, but friends and family, right? Let's say you have a friend, and I always try to make examples with me, but I want to make content. And a friend comes up to me and goes, you know how hard content is? You know that this people, this and that, X, Y, and Z, you can't do that because of this. And then, you're at a fork in the road. Do I try to be defensive and act like I know what I'm doing and tell him off and say, what is he talking about? Or do I just simply let go and recognize I need to protect my energy? His creative opinion in this endeavor doesn't really matter to me. I didn't ask for it. He's soliciting his opinion that I didn't ask for. Why don't I choose to just look at him and say, I appreciate you for that advice, and just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing, man. It doesn't mean that I don't love my friend and that I don't want to be around my friend and he's not important to me, or he or she's not important to me, but if I truly believe something to be, that I'm going to get paid to be me, that I'm a good basketball player, that I'm a great friend or whatever, right? Their words shouldn't really affect me. Sometimes you end up giving your energy to somebody, to toxic people, out of insecurity. So you feel like you may not know where to spend that energy towards your craft. You may be procrastinating. You may not be, on top of your P's and Q's, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, where you accidentally want to defend yourself by wasting your energy talking to somebody who has no idea what your journey is like. So let me repeat that. You're not exerting energy towards what it is that you want. So then you feel insecure because you know that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what insecurity is telling you. So then you end up having to defend yourself or believe what that person is saying. Doubt creeps in, and now you spend your energy in the opposite direction. If you truly knew that you were on the right path and what you were supposed to be doing, whatever it is that you want to do, their creative opinion would not inflict on your energy. Or they shouldn't, at least, right? Like I said, people live in the past, live in the future, and so their present moment is very susceptible to situations like that. You may know what you want to do, and you may be on your way. Maybe the numbers and the notoriety and acknowledgement isn't there, so maybe that's what causes the insecurity, but that's you thinking in the future. I used to have insecurity about that because I would be an entrepreneur, getting paid to be me, but I'm not necessarily at a point where it's recognizable, where I have financial freedom and I have the house, the car, all the things that I will have someday. That's me worrying about the future. So now I'm susceptible to people trying to pull my energy, my creative energy away, simply because I'm insecure about the future. Your energy is truly all we have to keep our body, mind, and spirit going. Why would I want to waste it on somebody else? I remember, I'll give you another example of a random person. I remember I was walking with my friend down the street, and this has to go into social media, but I was walking with my friend down the street years and years ago, and this guy was doing something. I wasn't even paying it no mind. And my friend literally goes, "You're an idiot. Why would you do something like that? You're so dumb." And I sat there and I was just like, why? Or we were walking. I was like, "Why did you do that?" "Well, because they're this and they're just so frustrated. So much energy exerted. And I said, what did that do? What does that do for you? What does that do for them? It's like you're exerting this energy that goes nowhere. It didn't make that person want to be a better person. It didn't make the situation any better. Maybe you helped yourself emotionally by feeling like you're defending something, I guess. But that energy can be used elsewhere. Obviously, if someone's life is in danger, you take action, you take energy. I'm not saying that to ignore everything and be so nonchalant and stoic, but be just very conscious about the energy that you decide to give off. It can ruin your whole day. It can ruin your creative process. It can ruin your journey. It can sabotage tons of things. I've said this before, I think in one of the earliest episodes, where you're scrolling and a political affiliation or a religious affiliation or somebody's career choice just bothers you. And now your energy is being exerted into this person who doesn't even know you. And where does it even go? It goes into the phone, right? If we're looking at it from a metaphysical perspective, the energy that you're giving goes to the phone and it just dissipates and you just wasted it. When it's like, man, I could have used that precious energy, that precious emotion, that precious thought, that precious law of attraction into a creative endeavor. Just the main point, right, of what I'm trying to say today is just be very mindful of where you're giving your energy. And once you're mindful of that, protect your energy. Protect it. That doesn't mean to be an a-hole and to treat people badly who are trying to take away your energy or trying to rage bait you or make you feel bad or make you feel less than. I'm not saying to be mean towards them. It's just be present. Be ever mindful. And that's so important, right? This is the main part I wanted to talk about. What are we at? This is the main point of what I wanted to talk about with toxic people. Toxic people love toxicity. It's almost impossible for them to get to you once you decide to protect your energy. And then, it's so funny. You can see it in real time, them seeing your non-reaction to their toxicity, and it'll do two things. It'll do a multitude of things, but mainly it'll do two things. One, it'll bother the absolute hive mind out of them. And they'll try even harder to get you out of it, which is a phenomenal test for you. It's great. It's like, man, I get to test myself even more in conserving my energy, and where they make themselves look like a fool. Or the other option is you're actually inspiring them to get out of their toxicity. It's almost like a reflection. It's like you're a mirror for them to see, wow, They're not reacting to what I said. Normally people react to that and I get a rise out of people and it makes me feel good and I have validation, but they didn't do it to me. I wonder why. Is what I'm doing really what I'm supposed to be doing? Just rage baiting people? What about my life? Could I be doing something else? Like, that's what I say by your energy, protecting your energy, practicing peace, practicing patience, practicing faith. Those are all positive things that will inspire other people by simply doing nothing. By choosing to protect your energy and have patience with this person and have faith that whatever journey they're supposed to go through, they're going to go through, and whatever things they're supposed to learn, and my journey and all these things, like just trusting God for what it is in this scenario and knowing that I'm in the present moment and I need to understand they're trying to get energy out of me, so I'm going to protect my peace. All of that culmination, humans are very perceptive to nonverbal communication. That will simply inspire somebody to be the best version of themselves. It's like when you were a kid, right? And somebody makes fun of you and then, you're kind of just stoic about it, or your dad or your mom tells you, oh, just, maybe even make a joke about yourself, or, just don't even laugh at it. And it's like that protecting your energy, they won't, at the very least, right? After some time, they don't even want to bother you because they don't get the reaction that they're looking for. And it's crazy that some people don't realize that, I don't want to call them, they're just like energy suckers, right? They get off on taking somebody else's creative energy for their sense of validation that they got that from them. It happens a lot more than you think. And it's almost like a level of spiritual warfare that some people would rather spend their time extracting energy from other people for whatever reason that they may have. We don't even know. We can't begin to know what goes on in their mind. If they want to spend their free time extracting precious energy from other people for no reason at all. Not casting judgment, but genuinely, what are you doing with your life? Dealing with toxic people is difficult. They're persistent. They could be very close to you in terms of friends or family, and that's the most unfortunate part. But the best thing that you can do is have a level of present mind, present energy, present soul, present body. Now, worrying about the past or the future, that makes you more susceptible to people rage baiting you, to people trying to extract that energy that you could be using elsewhere. Remember, it's okay to have thoughts of, wow, this person's rage baiting me, or, that is bothersome, but catching yourself in the present moment and having a sense of meditation. Let's say it's something that really triggers you, where I don't know, something that just bothers you. I can't even begin to explain what bothers each person from A to B. But let's say something accidentally tricks you into exerting your energy, or you almost feel like you're about to say something or have an emotion. You'll naturally get better at being in the present moment. But through practicing meditation, practicing being in the present moment, there will be more and more opportunities for you to catch that faster, right? Let's say I get super mad about something. It's almost an art, and I talked about this in other episodes, to be able to catch that before that becomes a negative emotion or exerting energy that's unnecessary, and be able to just take a deep breath and continue to move on in your life and focus on things that actually matter. It's an art, Sometimes it might take a minute at first, one whole minute where you're just furious. Then it drops down to 30, 15, 10, 5, and now it's almost like where you sense yourself getting mad or angry, or you're about to exert some energy that's unnecessary, you go, oh yeah, well, I remember, like, we're here. Like, I'm here in the present moment, and it doesn't affect me. I'm so thankful, so grateful, and God is just so good, and my life is phenomenal. And I'm going exactly where I want to be. Chief definite aim, burning desire, and wavering faith. The physical equivalent will be inevitable. I choose where I want to spend my energy. I am a positive person. Life is just so good. And now, like, this person, this energy, this energy sucker doesn't even exist in my reality anymore because my mind chooses to focus on what it wants to focus on. That's how powerful the mind is. But you have to prime yourself to be in that position. You can't just go through life and expect what I'm explaining to just happen. You have to be able to apply yourself. Find ways to be more present. Find ways to figure out where exactly your energy lies and where you could be better at conserving and creating more powerful, beautiful, positive energy for you to use on creative endeavors, on the chief definite aim that I always talk about, on getting things done. procrastination is the number one thing, which is the lack thereof in energy. That's the biggest thing. Everyone participates in procrastination, but you end up setting yourself up for that. You would rather spend energy doing other things that are pointless, meaningless, unnecessary than trying to get something done that actually matters. Why not just get what matters done first? The biggest energy, the most energy that you have. Why don't you just get that done first? And then just, if you want to fuck off the rest of your day with the little bit of energy you have left. Don't do it in reverse order when now all you have is this little bit left. And you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, okay, I got a little bit done. No, attack it when you have the most creative energy, the most creative prowess. Procrastination is so difficult if you allow it to be. You have to prime yourself to be ready for that. To avoid toxicity, to avoid negative energy, to avoid procrastination. It's all a mindfulness, a present moment ideology. It all exists in the now. You could even prime yourself to start catching when you're accidentally scrolling for too long or when you're spending time doing something that you're not supposed to do. It sucks because you catch yourself and now you're holding yourself accountable a lot more and you never catch yourself scrolling or watching a random TV show or, like luckily because of my job, I'm able to watch anime because I actually have to, right? I can figure out ways to have it utilized in multiple areas where then, I'm watching a TV show and I'm relaxing, but I'm also doing something for my job. Getting better at anime trivia, right? Like that's a way where you can work smarter, not harder, and figure out a way to relax, but then also have something that helps you in other areas, right? Watch a TV show that actually means something. Watch a movie that actually has a message. Figure out a way to where you're not just wasting your time. It's just like how I like to think about it, right? I don't have all the answers. This is my anecdotal experience giving you thought-provoking concepts and things for you to resonate with in your own life. And hopefully I'm doing that for you. I know I have this level of sense of urgency, but it's really imperative to understand this if you want to do things that are unprecedented. The level of urgency is super important, but you also have to have moments where you're very peaceful. And that's something I need to work on. Like I said, I'm not perfect. My patience is god-awful. I have terrible patience. I mean, I have patience, but my current reality is I lack patience. That's the better way to say it. I even caught myself saying something negative. I tried to tell you guys to not say anything negative, and here I am. So, anyways, I'm not talking from a place of, I know everything. Like, there are things in my life that I have to work on, and I know that. But I'm super thankful for this life, this experience that I get to live. It's mine and mine only. And I get to choose the reality of what takes place. That's the most powerful thing ever. There are no limits to what I can and can't do. My energy is so precious, and I preserve it because it's important to me to get the things done that I want to do. My chief definite aim, burning desire, unwavering faith, the physical equivalent will be inevitable. Protect your energy. What time are we at? Perfect. All right. Let's do our guided meditation. So what I would like you to do is find a piece on the floor, your bed, sit crisscross applesauce, whatever feels comfortable. Close your eyes for me. And what I want you to do is we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now what I want you to do is think about the highest version of yourself. What that looks like, what that feels like, what that sounds like. Nothing to do with your external world. Just the highest version of yourself. Your diet, your exercise, your relationships, your energy, all those things. Go find a mirror if you need to create this mental visualization, or go shake hands with yourself, a multiversal reality of yourself where it's your highest self. And now ask yourself, what makes them be the highest version of themselves compared to you? How far are you away from that person? Be honest with yourself. Even if you have to talk to your highest version, you're the highest version because of this. As of right now, I lack this. This is why I'm not the highest version. And you have it. So Shout outs to you. You're the highest version of Zay Brooks. And then ask yourself with grace, how far am I from that? And then the most important question, keep your eyes closed. Why is that the case? There's no other reason except you. It all stems from you. Keep your eyes closed. And so say you're a part of the group where you feel like, oh my gosh, they are miles away from me. That might overwhelm you. I can understand that. But you need to figure out a way to take it step by step. How can I make myself better just a little bit more? The music I listen to, the exercise, the diet, am I just giving out my procreation energy? Am I so focused on that? Am I focused on the opposite sex? Where is my mind going? Where is my creative energy going towards? No wonder why it's miles away. I can't even begin to take the first step. That's what I'm trying to tell you in terms of you being overwhelmed. Take that first step and then add on. Compound effect. Take another thing on. I clean my music up. Take another thing on. I clean my diet. Take another thing up. Now I'm exercising. Now you have this bag of a culmination of things that you're slowly getting to that highest version of yourself, right? Then there's other areas to work on. Your bad habits. Do you bite your fingernails? Do you, do drugs or drink too much or nicotine, right? Like certain aspects of your life you can take on step by step. That person in front of you that you're looking at, that you're visualizing, the highest version, that is so possible. It's unbelievably possible, but you have to take that first step and choose it to be so. And it's very important. Last thing right here is that when you're on your path, protecting that energy is super important because that is all you have to get to where you want to be, that highest version of yourself. Protecting your energy is very, very important on that path. All right, you can open your eyes now. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have anything that you want me to talk about, I also have the email that's under every single video that if you guys want to talk about certain things like that, you can also leave comments on the video, what you feel like you want me to talk about or certain things in your life. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have the answers, but if you appreciate and you resonate with things that I'm saying and you want me to talk about something that resonates with you or something that's come up for you, and you don't want it to be you, just make a burner, YouTube or something. I don't know, email me. I don't know. I know some of you may not want to say something because I might know who you are, but just create a burner or something and then just send it to me, I want to be able to create a place where people can talk and be open. And even in the comments, like I post these videos and then someone says something and then you have comments of people with their anecdotal experience. And then you create like this forum, almost like this subreddit in every single video where people are just pushing each other to be great. That's what I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting a community like that. That's so awesome. Where I can have an event in San Francisco and people can come and everybody's just super positive, shaking hands, hugging, networking. And then maybe we go on a run or something. Or, I have food that I serve and we just talk. Talk about life and how positive it is and how great it is. That's awesome. So super excited for that when that happens. But appreciate you guys, man. I will see you next time.